Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Healing Heart TV's first fundraiser, which is a holistic holiday media feast. And I'm Gina DeGirolamo. I'm the founder and the president of Healing Heart TV. I'm so excited to say that. I'm getting a little notification real quick here about Facebook, of course. So I just want to make sure we are ready to roll here. Before I go any further, I see there's a viewer. We're having trouble streaming to Facebook. Maybe an issue on Facebook's end. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to keep going because this is going to be recorded anyway. And I'm going to check one other thing. The beauty of live event streaming here. Okay. Edit that. Okay. Looks like we're live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Anyways, so let me tell you guys quickly about, first of all, Healing Heart TV and our mission. And that is to donate uplifting, inspiring, and positive content to hospitals, caregivers, family members, patients, anybody really who needs to be positively influenced on their journey. And we are so proud that we were able to create an app, which we'll talk about a little bit tonight. We also are a buy one, give one model. So we have a subscription to the app, which you can buy one for yourself, and we'll be able to give one away for free to other recipients. Tonight, we have a fundraising goal of $3,000 or more, as I like to say. And all the proceeds for tonight will go back into supporting our app to keeping us alive for this next coming year and continuing to be able to give it to other people. So also those subscriptions, all the proceeds for subscription costs go back into that as well. So I'm going to check one more time with Facebook and see what's going on here. And just bear with me for a moment. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Looking at Facebook, and that's it. So, gang, I'm going to bring in my team here, my sis, who's my co-host, just for a moment. And Joan, before we get deep into our conversation about what we're planning here, let me see if I could just troubleshoot for a minute. You can
I can chat while you're
you can chat with folks for me for a second.
So welcome those of you who are here with us and can actually see us. That's just the beauty of all of this, right? We're very, very happy you're here. We are super, super excited about our first fundraiser. This is something that my sister and I have been passionate about for several years, a couple years. And so, what we're going to do during this time, like I said, Gina has some wonderful guests. I'm going to talk a little bit shortly about my backstory, because my backstory is how this all started, in 2014. So, I'm going to take just a little time to share that with you. And then Gina has some phenomenal guests. We have a wonderful, inspirational person, Cody Byrns. His story will just touch your heart, talk about inspiration and healing and so forth. And then we're going to have some beautiful music by Jessie, who I just met a little while ago, and she's going to be awesome. And we want you to, interact with us, talk to us, tell us what you think about, what's going on here. But while Gina's doing all of that, I'm just going to get into my story. And we wanted to show you a little picture, but I know Gina's busy right now. So I'm just going to get started, because my backstory, like I said, is how this all got started. So in 2014, on July 4th, I woke up with an excruciating headache. And it just got worse as the morning went on. I didn't know what was wrong. I quickly became very ill and nauseous. Couldn't even get myself off the floor. I should say, barely got myself off the floor to call my neighbor and ask her to come over and take me to the hospital. And at that time, and I still am a widow, but I was widowed at that time. And so, anyways, I was taken to the emergency room here in Las Vegas, at first thinking it was dehydration. And ultimately, what we found out through some tests that day, that evening, I was told that I had a massive tumor in my head. Wow, that was a shock. I was just, I'm thinking, this is just a movie. This is not true. Anyways, I'm going to just tell you the short story of what happened because it's a very long story. But yes, I had a massive, rare skull-based tumor called the clival chordoma. After about a week of research, my sister Gina was doing a lot of research to find out where we could go for me to be operated on. We ended up in Santa Monica at St. John's Medical Center, where I had a phenomenal team and a surgeon. And so what was amazing was as I was wheelchaired in and we were put into this private small waiting room. And of course, I'm a nervous wreck. Obviously, my whole life is caving in on me. Is that on the TV, there was this beautiful videos of nature. And it was so calming in all the midst of my chaos, to see these nature videos and the water and so forth. It just brought a level of peace to me and my sister. So that was the first time I had ever seen that. So what happened after that, I ended up being in there for a couple weeks. I also had bacterial meningitis, so I was very sick. My surgery was successful, by the way, 13-hour surgery. But during the couple weeks that I was there, fortunately, the hospital had a station dedicated to nature videos. And so that's all I would watch, for hours as I laid there in my bed. I didn't want to hear any, news and just watch dysfunctional family shows and all of that. It was my salvation. It really was. And so what happened then, let's fast forward a year later in 2015, I had to have open heart surgery. And I went to the Cleveland Clinic for that. And Cleveland is my hometown as well. And so I was taken to the hospital there, which was a holistic healing hospital or center. However, they did not have these types of shows on their TV station. So my sister Gina, who saw the power of those videos, and she's also has been a cinematographer in Hollywood for years, and she lives in California. She created these beautiful videos for me and would show them to me on the iPad. And again, it was my salvation, when pain pills weren't helping or working, just to watch those videos. And so her and I, it really was a big aha that why isn't this in more hospitals? Why isn't healing media available to patients or people who struggle with depression or even the families, that are helping take care of that? So that's really the backstory. And I did get through those. Obviously, I got through my surgeries, and I'm great, and I'm here, and I'm very grateful. And so since then, my sister Gina has had this passion to create, to continue to really bring this to a nonprofit organization. And so this is where we are today. We won't really go into what transpired the last 2 years, but Gina's been working very hard and achieving that nonprofit status and creating the apps. So Gina, I'm going to let you take it from there.
Okay. So all this back end I was doing, I quickly want to say I was able to connect us back up to Facebook, which I'm happy about. So Cody, Jesse, our guests, please go ahead and share this post. Hopefully you're seeing a new post. Unfortunately, the post link that we had shared earlier may be different. So in any case, I know the right people are going to see us. And I know you guys are going to support us and share this. Like I said, it's okay if you're not seeing us live. We're just excited to have this tonight. And we're going to help people. You know, that's really what this is about. You know, like Joan said, you know, she went through some really difficult times. And I observed quite a bit on what was happening in hospitals, what was happening for patients, what was happening not just for Joan, and seeing the effects that positive media had for her and her relaxation. But I would also walk by other patient rooms and see people either by themselves. And it really struck a chord with me that I wanted to give them something to be able to get through what they were going through. And for myself, because I was spending a lot of time in waiting rooms where there was a lot of live 24-hour news channels happening. And it was really stressful to see this. It was not contributing to relaxing me. And quite frankly, we're in a stage now, as we know, this was way pre-pandemic, and things have gotten even more intense in hospital situations, not only for patients and family members, but caregivers. And as a matter of fact, we just started this month a pilot program with a new hospital it's not a new hospital, but is one of the hospitals in the Cleveland Clinic system in Ohio, for the nursing staff. We are donating the app to the nursing staff, and they want to start modeling self-care and start using the app for themselves. And makes us really happy because we want to get it to them. So it kind of helps nurses in two different ways. It helps them personally with their own struggles, but it helps nurses help patients. So nurses love to give patients something to do to relax themselves, to produce a relaxation response, as they will call it. And they are choosing videos that are calming, right, Joan? Like she could come in and put on a nature video or something for you to just relax you, because that's what they're there to do, help you relax and be comforted. So that's where we currently are. I'm going to try and just take a breath here for a second. And that's something we practice. You know, this is something that you'll find on the app. Is the video content is about getting you to relax. So I'm going to relax. I'm going to take a breath and just be present with you, because this is what it's all about. So let's see, Joan, where are we on time? We're actually doing pretty okay. We're on schedule. And like I said, if we could get some shares going, that would be awesome. And so earlier, what I had stated, which you probably missed, was we do have a fundraising goal of $3,000 tonight. And it's not just tonight. Obviously, it's social media live streaming, which goes on for days and days. So we have a goal of $3,000. And that money is going to give us the opportunity to keep our app alive. It is going to allow us to donate subscriptions to the app to others. And when you do buy your own subscription to the app, we have a buy one, give one subscription model. So what that means is when you pay for a subscription, we are able to then give a subscription to someone else. So all the proceeds from your paying for a subscription goes directly back into giving it to somebody else. So we're really happy about that. All right. So Joan, I think I'm going to pull you out for a second.
All right.
All right. We'll see you in a little bit.
Later.
And and we forgot to tell you that actually Joan has a book. Let me bring her in real quick. Joan has this book.
You're just so excited, but also Facebook threw us off a bit.
Facebook really threw us off. Oh, look, you have a copy too.
Yep, I have a copy too.
Well, what's interesting about Joan's book is she wrote it before all of this happened and after her husband passed away. So it's a wonderful, inspiring story that Joan has a whole nother her own project that she's doing and helping women with that. But in any case, for a donation of $50, the first donation of $50 that we receive, we will be able to give an autographed copy away of Joan's book. for that. So the first one I see come in after this timestamp tonight, Joan will send you that book.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Joan. All right. So before I bring my first guest in, who's Cody Byrns, I am going to share with you Cody's video. Now, Cody's video, first of all, Cody is an amazing, inspirational speaker, author, just all around great guy. And I actually met Cody through Joan's work. Joan holds an annual conference every year for her business, and Cody was part of it. And as I source videos for Healing Heart TV, I'm always looking for something that I think is going to help a viewer, help a patient or a caregiver. And Codys Story really struck me. And he had made this video a few years ago about his story. And so this video is a type of video that we will find on our app. And so without further ado, I'm going to play Codys Story. It's about 6 or 7 minutes. And then we're going to meet Cody. Okay, so let me do something here. I am going to stop that banner. And here we go. Here is Codys Story.
As a little boy, I fell in love with juggling. And I fell in love with juggling by going to the circus. Go figure. I became so fascinated that I wanted to juggle until the day came to where I myself became a professional juggler. I was getting paid thousands of dollars doing a skill that, you know, I spent a lot of time and effort in practicing and doing, but I took great pride in what I was doing. But at the same time, as a kid's pastor, you know, I was close to my family, and, you know, life was just going great. I was doing something that I've always wanted to do. I was living my dream. Everything changed on May 31st, 2013. Life as I knew it came to an end. I was sitting at a red light on the highway behind another van, and I was rear-ended by a refrigerator box truck that was going full highway speed. On impact of the truck rear-ending me, my vehicle exploded. When the first responders came to the scene, they called it a fatality. They knew that no one could survive such a tragedy. But somehow or another, to their amazement, still to this day, they see my hand move. And because of that, they changed their plans. Whenever they got me out, they put me on the stretcher. They then life-flighted me to a hospital in Evansville, Indiana, and then immediately redirected me to the burn unit in Indianapolis, Indiana, where I was in a full coma, full life support for 3 weeks. I had broken vertebrae, I had all kinds of torn ligaments, but the most severe was the burn injuries. I had 3rd and 4th degree burns. And with these burns, they're going to leave tragic scars. The moment I began to understand the severity of my injuries was probably whenever I was in another hospital facility where I had to relearn to walk and use my hands again. And it was during that time, with the assistance of nurses, that I was able to stand up, and they had brought in a full body mirror. Whenever I looked into the mirror, I then began to see the effects that these burns had on my body, the scars, the deformed appearance of these scars. And when seeing that, my heart broke. It's a very emotional moment, because I knew that these scars were now permanent. They're now a part of who I am. And so, because of these injuries, it brought to me the question of, will I be able to juggle again? They wanted to, whenever I was in the unit, the surgeons were considering amputation for 3 of my fingers. And it was during that time my family stepped in and they said, do whatever you can to save his fingers. I still have my fingers. They don't have the mobility that they used to, Um, but surprisingly enough, after a lot of sweat and tears, I was able to teach myself to juggle again. To me, relearning to walk was hard. Relearning to use my hands again, hold a pencil and sign my name again was hard. It was challenging. I had to relearn to do it all. But to me, I didn't feel like I would be Cody Byrns until I could juggle again. To me, the juggling is what would top it all. The moment I began to juggle again, that's when I could start being myself again. As someone who started out, with a goal in mind of helping people, motivating and entertaining crowds of all ages, and getting all of a sudden knocked down by such a tragedy, one of the cool things is that I haven't allowed it to keep me down. So I like to show people is that a scar in itself doesn't have to be a bad thing. It all depends on how you look at it. But a scar does become a bad thing when it limits your mobility in life. When a scar begins to prevent you from enjoying your life, then it becomes a problem.
Whatever has scarred you in your life, you can't change the past. What's done is done. Same way with me. I can't change what is done, but I can change what I'm doing tomorrow. I can change what I'm doing the next day.
I want to be able to help people with my story gain a new perspective on life and to help them change their attitude so that they can be a better student, a better parent, a better employee. With the right attitude, there is nothing that you can't accomplish.
And there he is. Wow.
Yes, here I am.
Cody.
Gina, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy you're here. And God, your story, every time I watch it, I can't believe it that, that you have come as far as you have and all you've done is just so amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's been a lot of work, but it all goes back to me just re-examining my life and finding out what is the most important. And for me, the most important thing is bringing hope to our world today.
Yeah, well, you are. And that's why I wanted you to be part of, our mission. And I have to ask you though, Cody, that's such a positive, inspiring story. And I want to ask you, was there a point in time when you just felt like giving up when you were going through that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for, many folks in today's world, they would relate to this story and the fact that, I was at a stoplight, and I think many people have found themselves at stoplights. And this stoplight for me was certainly one that was hard to get back up after being knocked down. And I wondered, what will come of my life from this moment forward? Is life worth living? And will I ever get back to living a somewhat normal life? And I think many people have found themselves in such a position where they find themselves suddenly struck by disaster, by calamity. Maybe that is COVID-19, a loss of a loved one. Maybe it's a breakdown of a marriage. There could be many things, but it certainly had an effect on me and my emotions. It took time to get to where I am today, but here I am. And I can't tell you enough just how blessed I am and grateful to be alive, because life is beautiful. It's beautiful in the fact that I continue on that mission of encouraging thousands upon thousands around the world.
Yeah. And thank God, and that's what they say, right? I mean, it's the people who come through these things who become the messengers to help the rest of us get through it. And what was something maybe that if you could give to others, what was something that helped you get through when you were having those moments that were like you didn't know if you could keep going?
Yeah, I say a lot of times whenever I go speaking at events, I always love giving out acronyms. And for me, it was community. It was community. And one of the things I admire about this platform that you are providing, Gina, is that it is giving people a community, a sense of belonging, that there is other people that have gone through difficulties in their life. They're not alone. And at the same time, you're giving them positive media to help uplift them in such times. And so I love this so much. But I always talk about, CPR. It's an acronym. And so the C stands for community. We need community. And I had other people in my life, a great support system that was encouraging me in those moments of my defeat, those moments where I was down and I was out. And we all need people in our lives to encourage us. And so community was important. And then at the same time, we have the P, which is patience. It certainly took patience to get from lying on the bed, can't walk, to up and walking out of an in-stay rehab, and now juggling and traveling and doing all that I'm doing. It took time, but through the journey, I learned a lot about myself, life, and other people. But patience is extremely important. And then we have the R, which is renewing our minds. Renew our minds. And that's something I can't stress enough. And another thing that this platform is providing, once again, positive media, positive materials to help uplift us. And so we all need good books and podcasts, uplifting things. We are a byproduct of our environment. And so if you want good results, surround yourself with a good community and surround yourself with good content.
Yeah, I love that. The renewing our minds with content. Yeah, and that's exactly it. That's what we're asking people to do, to step into renewing your mind. Don't watch the old stuff over and over and over and over again. It's just depleting you of your energy, and we're trying to provide you with something that is energizing. So, yeah. And you wrote a book, right, Cody?
Yes, yes. Scar Release, Breaking Free of Yesterday's Troubles. This is on Amazon, both in paperback and in Kindle format, and it's also in Spanish. So,
Wow. In a couple languages. That's cool. And
yeah.
so here's our second book giveaway. Cody is offering a signed copy of his book for a donation of $50 also. And he would be happy to sign that and send it to you. And so I'll choose our second $50 donation that comes in, and we'll get it to Cody to give out to you. So Cody, what are you doing these days? So you're with the juggling, and do you go into hospitals and do juggling or anything like that for kids, or?
That's something that it was actually pending right before COVID had happened.
Oh,
And
yeah, of
so
course.
I've done hospital things in the past. A lot of what I do now is more so just working directly to nurses and doctors and going to events where you have a lot of those professionals in the same gathering. And I share my story, but at the same time, they're getting uplifting content and materials that can help them in their everyday lives. And
Right.
so, in a way, I'm doing hospital work and hoping to do more of that in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's great. I mean, like I said earlier, right? Our audience is broadened. It's not just the patient. I mean, we're finally starting to pay attention to our caregivers as being the patients as well, right? And this is like this whole concept of holistic healing. If we're taking care of them also, they're part of the whole, part of our team, right? I mean, must have had a huge team helping you with your healing, from your therapist, your physical therapist. Oh my God, I can't even imagine the plastic surgeons and your surgical team. How many surgeries did you have to go through, Cody?
Oh, goodness. There was probably, I would say, 16 or 17 in
Wow.
total. Many, many different forms of surgery. But a lot of the burn surgeries happened whenever I was in a coma. I had about 8 when I was out of it. Some very dangerous surgeries, and I'm very blessed and grateful to be here today. But I would say 16 to 17.
Wow. I can't even imagine that. That's And you probably like, yeah, I couldn't either. Just seemed like a blur. Like, did that really happen to me? Or
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it took a lot of work for me to look, as decent as I do. Um, so I am grateful though, so grateful for all of our first responders and the men and women that were there that day, and all of those men and women that are serving in today's world because they're making a huge difference, and
yeah.
I'm forever grateful.
Yeah, and first responders definitely are in that category of those that we want to love up and give to, because I live with a retired first responder, and it's very difficult for them. They go through a lot. We think they're superhuman, just like we think our doctors and our nurses are, but they have emotions and feelings, and they are caring people. So we want to support them as much as we can. Cody, I'm so grateful that you agreed to come tonight, and I'm so grateful that you agreed to give your story and share it with Healing Heart TV, and for it to be on the app. While you're here, I want to show people real quick, like, wow, what does our app look like? And we'll show what your little thumbnail looks like on our app. So we have, there's the app, and there you are, Cody. There's yours right in there. And you're in the inspirational healing or inspirational story category. And we have a whole bunch of different categories. And we're going to be bringing up Jessie Powers as our musician. She's in a couple of categories there. So you get a little idea what it looks like. And you could download the app on your app store, and you can subscribe there. Also, remember, the subscription goes to give to somebody else. So you can either tell us who you want to give it to, or we'll be able to give it to somebody else on your behalf. Cody, what would you like to leave our audience with tonight?
Yes. Well, I want to share with you a powerful quote that was given to me by one of my mentors. I absolutely love this, and I believe it was written by Caitlin Walsh. And the quote says, "The key to success is playing the hand you were dealt like it was the hand that you wanted." And for me, I went back to my overall vision. What is it that I wanted to do in today's world? And I wanted to bring hope to people. And what better opportunity than to utilize such a tragedy? And since this time, I have grown and I have matured in ways that I wouldn't have if I had not gone through this difficulty. And so I encourage all the listeners and viewers that no matter what you're going through in this life, if you play your cards right, it can work out for your good and for the good of others. There is life worth living. Life is beautiful, my friends. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. Press on. Tomorrow is a new day.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have a great night. And we'll
You
see you
too.
later.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
I love Cody. He's such a positive, inspiring soul. So let's see. We did Cody's book giveaway. We have another gift that I wanted to tell you guys about tonight. For a $100 donation, we are going to give away one of our annual subscriptions to Healing Heart TV. So the first $100 donation that I see come in, I will reach out to you. I will gift you a 1-year subscription, and we'll gift it to somebody else as well. And so I did speak about Jessie Powers, who's going to be up next. And Jessie, I have met Jessie over the last year, gotten to know Jessie fairly well. We've worked together on a Sunday service live stream for a spiritual community that we have both been a part of for a long time. It's the Centers for Spiritual Living. It's a New Thought spiritual community. And there is an amazing, amazing group of musicians. And there's a whole movement called positive music, which is really beautiful. And Jessie is part of that movement. She's a young, beautiful soul, gorgeous singer, songwriter. And so Jessie's given us some videos. I'm going to play one of the videos that Jessie has donated to the Healing Heart TV app. And it's off of her new album. I'm just going to get it ready here real quick. It's off of her new album called To Remember. It's a pretty cool little video. It is got some great graphics, and it's just really relaxing. So I'm going to play that, and then we'll bring Jessie in to talk with us.
I don't want to give words to this. Anything you have to interpret will only eclipse the heart of it. I just want to send it in sound with a wavelength clarity. Nothing I could ever say will resonate the same way that this love does in me. Inhale, exhale, breathe. Somewhere in the beat of your heart, there I am. Somewhere underneath all the war-torn believing, there you have always been. It's something like a melody, it's something like a song, and it sings itself and it's never wrong. Ooh, everywhere it plays for me, it's always on repeat. It's the love song of everything. Inhale, exhale, breathe. It's not just there in my body. It's not just there in the thoughts that I think. It's there in the roots, in the skies and the seas, in the eyelids, the irises, the wind and the wings, in the will be, the ever was, the reason and the just because. I am the song that I sing. Inhale, exhale,
Jessie,
Hi,
that was so
Gina.
beautiful. Welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. I really loved how you produced that that little video. I love the breathing at the end, and I thought that was such a great addition to that song, and it struck me in a whole different way, and I thought it was so nice to put, you know, for the app for people to just chill out and just tap into that breathing.
So important for literally everything, but especially those of us who are, you know, actively on the mend for whatever reason. It's definitely a integral
Yeah.
part of that.
Is that song really about gratitude, like gratitude for everything?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think a lot of the songs that I write are love songs, but they end up being kind of crafted as if they are love songs from the universe. And I think that's, it kind of just mirrors that song, kind of mirrors that. But it's also like literally everything is like singing this love song to us all the time. And it's like, yeah, it's just a beautiful romantic gesture that the universe gives to us constantly. And our breath is the simplest but most profound version of that love song, I think.
Wow. You're so deep for such a young soul.
Well, thanks.
Jesse, I wanted people to hear a little bit about the style of music that you do and this movement really in music that you're part of. You know, and honestly, you really are one of the younger ones in that movement. You know, because some people who are watching are going to know who we're talking about, some won't. But there's some big names in there. We've got Jamie Lula, Amy Bishop, Karen Drucker, Gary Lynn Floyd, you know, Eddie Watkins Jr. And for people who don't know, these are people who have been serious professional musicians in many genres for many years. And they seem to have come to this style of music, which isn't really a style because everybody's unique, right? You all still have your own unique style for sure. But there's a gift that you're giving back. Can you talk about what you're, as a musician, what is that style of music or genre?
Sure. Yeah. So like, I think it goes by many names, but you know, generally, you could put it as like positive, posy music. And, I call it conscious indie pop or, you know, whatever. That's just because I do indie pop. But the through line to all of the musical genres is, that we all do in this kind of circuit, is it's the lyrics really, and it's the heart and intention behind the lyrics and the music itself. And so the lyrics and the intention really is designed for opening, expanding the mind, I think, and opening the heart. So, you know, I think I can speak for all of us that we, as in all of the musicians who sort of do this work, is that when we are writing these lyrics, it's much, it goes much deeper than some of the stuff you might hear on the radio or, you know, just more of those general, like a lot of those are about love or like conflicts with your partner or whatever. And these are much more universal themes of like agape love. And we're trying to cultivate that sense of gratitude, joy, freedom, openness within the people that are listening. Yeah. So I'd say generally that's the aim.
That's a really awesome explanation. I've never actually heard it before. And it's so true. I mean, the music you guys provide, it just resonates. First, you know, I think it will, like you said, you do like indie pop, and then there's like Eddie Watkins Jr. is more like R&B, and then we've got, you know, Gary Lynn Floyd, who's this beautiful pianist, songwriter, and so it's great because it can speak to anybody, but it's positive, and it is I love the idea that it's intentional. So when you're watching something or listening to something, be intentional, right? If you want to be put into a good vibration, a good space, a healing space, a calming, relaxing state, Right. Yeah. Don't listen to like some sad love song if you
Yeah.
just broke up with somebody and you're grieving.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the times, I mean, I think it's good to lean into some of those feelings, but a lot of times lyrically you end up going to a place of like resentment or, like bad vibes where it's like that's not really the truth of the situation necessarily. Like the truth underneath it is maybe the shame that you're working through or the guilt or these beliefs that you have that you want to overcome, and that's kind of what we try to bring out more obviously in the lyrics that we write.
Yeah. And as you're, healing or just trying to de-stress,
Yeah.
you want to make sure you're conscious about the type of media you're giving yourself.
Yes, totally. Totally. Which is why your app is so amazing.
Yeah, and that's what's so fun is we want to, it's not just one thing. We've got these amazing nature relaxation videos, and I didn't get to mention earlier, one of the new things we have is we have a beautiful cinematographer and filmmaker from Norway, and he has this great channel called the Nature Healing Society.
Ooh,
And it's awesome. So we have all like that kind of
cool.
content. And then we have like the stories like Cody. And then we have the intentional music that you're creating.
Yeah.
And it's just the beginning of all the things that we want to continue to give folks.
Yeah.
So, how I think you kind of touched on it, but I'll ask it anyways, which is something I had written down about, how do you think just music affects people physically, spiritually, or emotionally? And you could touch on anything in that area.
Well, first of all, I think music is just this thing that we can't explain. Like it's really interesting to think about. I think about it like this. Like I think about really touching moments in a movie where you could watch the movie without music, right? And you could watch that same touching moment and the effect that it would have on you would probably be significantly less emotionally because there's no music. And then you put that music in there and then you fall apart and you're just like sobbing on the floor. And so and it's like inexplicable, right? Like you can't really put your finger on why music does that because all it is vibrations, and that's the beauty of it. And I think because for me, I'm deeply rooted in, spirituality, and that's like a lot of how I frame my mind and the way I move through the world. And so I think of things as vibration. Like everything is vibration. Your body is emitting a vibration. The cells of your body are emitting vibrations, and so when we put positive vibes out from music, and music being one that's like so pure like this, like you can't even explain it, I think that consuming positive media like that, it literally sends that vibration to you and to your physical body, to your emotional body, and, your heart, your mind. You're listening to these lyrics. Words have a vibration. They have the connotation of things, like you can feel when like certain words feel differently than other words, and when you kind of package all of the like positive intention, the uplifting melodies and the words all together, I think it just has this full vibrational package effect on your body and your mind and your heart. And, it's obviously hard to explain that, but it's a feeling. And like, you can't deny that music penetrates us in that way, in a way that a lot of other things really can't. So, I think if you're putting the right things into your mind and into your, your heart and your atmosphere, it's incredibly healing, in every way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And, you don't have to, some people want to know the science behind it. And actually there is science behind it. So you can find those things. And some people just want to feel it. And so it's great. So Jesse, you said you were going to play a little song for us live, and I would love to invite you to do that now. And I'm going to step backstage here while you do that.
Okay. So since we are doing a fundraiser for Healing Heart TV. I'm going to play a song called Healing. Quite appropriate. Think of this as a love letter from your most adoring, loving self to you. Can you feel my love? Let it wrap you up in a warm body. It is more than enough that you are simply breathing right now. You bring your highs, you bring your lows. You try to prove to me you don't deserve anything, but I'll keep holding the space for you to simply be here right now. And it's a hard road to loving yourself. It's a hard thing to believe it enough to be loved by somebody else. You may be lost, you may be shaken and confused, but none of this is gonna dissuade me from loving you. And all this darkness is just a feeling, and it's feelings that make you grow. And when you're growing, it means you're healing, making your way to where you let resistance go. And I can show you the way. Oh, and I will reassure you that through it all, I'm gonna stay. Won't you let me in? I am standing at your door, waiting. I don't care if it's a mess in there. I just wanna see you shine as you are. And it's a hard road to loving yourself. It's a hard thing to believe it enough to be loved by somebody else. You may be lost, you may be shaken and confused, but none of this is gonna dissuade me from loving you. All this darkness is just a feeling, and it's feelings that make you grow. And when you're growing, it means you're healing, making your way to where you let resistance go. And I can show you the way, and I will reassure you that through it all, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay. Ooh, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay.
Oh, Jessie, that was so beautiful.
Thank you.
You're so
Glad you
beautiful.
liked it. Oh, thanks. You're so beautiful. I'm so impressed and so just excited for this app, and so honored that you asked me to, have some content on there. And
Oh yeah, anything that you do, I think is great. And it's fun that you have the videos that you did together, the graphic presentations like the one we just showed. I think it's really nice. And then you're just such a bright light. I look forward to you doing some more stuff where we see you.
Thanks. Yeah.
So, well, Jessie, thanks so much for being with us tonight, and I can't wait to see you again soon. And hopefully, we'll have you on the next fundraiser that we do too.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can't wait for that. And just so you know, I haven't told anyone this, now everyone will know, but I just recorded a music video, a profesh music video with me in it. So that
right.
will be coming your way as well, and you can share that with people.
Okay, I will. And I didn't get to mention maybe I did. I mentioned it earlier. Your current album is To Remember. That was the first song. What was the last song on? Or has that song been recorded? The one you just played?
No, that one's actually not. It's been recorded, but it's not on an album. So that's actually the song that you get when you sign up for my mailing list on my website. That's kind of where I put that one. Also, I don't know where this might fit, but I was very inspired by Cody. And if anyone would like to make a donation for a vinyl or a CD for my latest album, with some stickers, I have cool stickers, and I can send a whole package, and we can work it out. So
I love it. I love
know.
it. Okay, so the next person to donate, let's make that another $50 donation. So the third $50 donation that I see, we're going to send Jessie your way.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Jess. That's so generous of you.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome, and thanks for having me on.
You bet. All right, we'll see you later.
All right, see ya.
Do you want to be the host?
I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now?
All right. Bye, Jess. Okay, I'm going to bring my co-host, Joan, back in. Hi, sis.
I gotta wipe my eyes.
Are you crying over Jessie?
That song just, yes, really brought tears to my eyes. That was just beautiful in the words. And yeah, that was amazing. She's incredible.
Yeah, she's quite the inspiration.
And
I
like
just
you
love
said,
her energy.
insightful for a young person to have that insight.
Yeah, I think she falls under that old soul category. All right, let's take a recap here and see where we're at. So we had first $50 donation that came in, and I know we already got one. Joan is going to give an autographed copy of her book, Live a Big Life. The second $50 donation that came in, Cody Byrns is going to give an autographed copy of his book. I think it's called Scar Release, which is, a physical thing and a emotional thing, and Cody's great. Jessie just offered up a great package of her music for a $50 donation. We've also offering for a $100 donation a 1-year subscription to the app. And let me quickly show the app one more time. So it is a $79.99 for a 1-year subscription to our app. The cool thing is it is a buy one, give one model. Here's the app with all this fabulous content. We just scratched the surface tonight on what's on it. And so for $100, we'll give you a subscription for free and give it to somebody else. And then I threw in for a $200 donation. If anybody could throw down $200, I will give you a lifetime subscription to the app. So we have, our costs are to build our app, to keep it running. We look to grow Healing Heart TV to bring in more filmmakers, more content creators, and also people who want to contribute with their own meditation things like that. So we have a wide variety of stuff. Joan experienced Reiki healing also while in the hospital, which was cool. Do you want to mention that real quick, what that was like?
I do, and sorry, I was just watching the chat there, so that's pretty cool. Our cousin MJ donated. So
fabulous.
Mary Jo.
Thank you, Mary Jo.
Yeah, thank you. Our sweet cousin, who also, by the way, now that I'm thinking of Mary Jo, when I was in Cleveland, Ohio, Mary Jo, was involved as far as coloring and art and so forth. So I do want to just tie in quickly that holistic. I want to go back to the word holistic, Gina, because I think sometimes it's hard for people to comprehend unless you truly have been a patient in a hospital. But also, most patients don't know about holistic healing. That's the
Right.
key word here that we're trying to get people to see, because we're just used to drugs and medications and physical therapy. You know, when you go into a hospital,
Yeah.
when you go into a doctor's office, when you're sitting to get an MRI, you know. And so what I want people to understand, why we need to be able to donate this to others, is because it is a holistic approach. If you want to heal your body, like Cody said, it's physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. It is the music, it is the calming videos, it is the coloring. You know, I got into coloring. Yes, the Cleveland Clinic, they provided Reiki for me before I went into surgery. When I was in so much pain, sitting in, all I could do was sit in a chair and think about all my pain. They'd come over
Yeah.
and do Reiki over me. So I think, you know, I want to just reiterate, this isn't just any app. Um, this this is something that truly can help people on their road to healing. And whether you're healing, you know, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we know that people are struggling with depression. We know this past 20 months COVID has really done a number on people. So and you know, I just really want to give this message out, because we have like a minute left or whatever, that as that person being on that receiving end. And I was a caregiver for my husband with pancreatic cancer for 3 years. We need this. We need to get rid of the garbage that appears on our TVs when we go to our doctor's offices. It makes no sense. We're there to heal, and yet you're showing us dysfunctional shows and horrible news. This does not connect, and we need to change the world, and we need to do it together. So that's
Yeah.
my plea. That is my message. And it is my greatest hope and passion that we could change the way we approach healing.
Thank you. It's true, Joan. And that's what we are asking you guys to do. We want to give to you. We're giving to you as you give to us. We could give to more. Together, we build this movement where we can make a change, and we can truly take control. You know, I've heard so many people say to me, "Oh yeah, I hate that one." That when I go into the place, oh, and all they do is play the snooze and stuff. It's like we don't like it, but you know what? We can do something about it. You can go in there. You can ask them to, why aren't they showing something more positive? Why don't they give you something more positive? There's other uh, um, content creators that are doing it. We do it differently. We do it at no charge to the hospital organization. You can tell them, say, if it's money, call Healing Heart TV, because they'll provide you the content for free. And we will provide the subscriptions for free to the patients. And so the way we do that is by you joining us. We could do it together. So we're really excited that we have come this far. And we have a lot farther to go. It's just the very beginning. And we're just grateful that you have joined us. Okay, so we've got a few $100s that we've raised on the Facebook donation button. You can also, thank you very much. Thank you to those who have donated. You're going to get some gifts. Yes, and great people. Mary Jo also wants to get Jesse's album. Yeah, please visit Jesse Powers music.com. There's CodyByrns.com to his website. And what was the last thing I wanted to share? You know what? I want to ask the audience if there is anything that you would like to know from us. You could throw a question in the chat. If you want to share some positive thing that you've been influenced by throughout your healing. And then while you are doing that, I could tell you what's next for us. What's next for us? More content. We're always looking for more content. If you have seen a video that you think is super inspirational, if you are a content creator, if you would like to have content, or you think you have a gift and you don't know how to make a video, email me. I'm going to throw my email up here, and you can do that. So like I said, I am constantly looking for content. So that's one thing. and just to keep giving it away, keep getting it out there, keep getting it into different hospitals. And it doesn't even have to be hospitals. You know, if you have a friend who you know is in need, let us know. Send us their email address or contact information, and we will give them, or yourself. You know, are you going through something? Are you having a challenge right now, whether it's health or through the holiday season? We want to help you. Okay. That's what we're about. We're about helping people. All right. So
Whew.
I think we've come to the end of this particular so-called broadcast. I know, without its challenges at the beginning. So I would really appreciate, for those of you who are watching, to go ahead and share it later. You know, it's definitely not like the giving is going to close when we're done. You can still be able to donate. You can yourself start a fundraiser for Healing Heart TV if you like. And what else? That's it. I think I'm plumb out of words. Let me throw a
I
couple of
know
comments
it's
up here.
been quite a wow, exciting, very touching first fundraiser. Hearing Cody again, he's like incredible. Yeah, that was amazing, and Jesse, and yeah, it's really good. So just I want to say the same thing. Please, please, please share, spread the word. We can change things. You know, we can do that if we all just do our little part. And like Gina said, this is at the core of our hearts, and we just, yeah, we want to help people because we know it works, you know.
Yeah.
And
know it
I
works.
also just want to throw in, since we're talking about a feast, I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving and you feast on good food, and also feast with your mind. Let your mind feast. Get the app.
Yeah.
Feast on great media.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Joan. Thank you for joining us and tuning in. And that is going to wrap us up for tonight. Good night, everybody. Have a great holiday.